Hey, look at this. We're ready to go. In the studio, we welcome Tessa Virtue and Scott Moir. Oh, here they come, Jim. They're doing the Ellen dance.
Oh, good. We dance everywhere we go now.
Good morning, you two. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Fantastic.
We're awesome now that you're here. We love poaching Ellen's guests. Tuesday, the Ellen DeGeneres Show. Today, the Taz Show.
Is John Hamm coming on next?
Was Ham on the show that day?
Yeah, just after us.
Yeah, I think he's in Timmy's downstairs waiting.
Yeah.
Did you guys meet John Hamm backstage?
Yeah.
He did. He was so lovely.
So awesome, actually. Yeah, walked right in, introduced himself. He's saying that he was in Vancouver when we skated, knew everything about us, and I was just like kind of starstruck, and I usually don't get like that.
How neat is that?
Pretty cool. That was our favorite moment in LA, eh, Tess?
Yeah, that was special.
I'm starstruck right now. Even though we've known each other, Scott, we've met many times. We've hung out. We've done charity events together. Tessa, I think I've met you before.
I'm sure we have. And I feel like because of your connection with Scott, I feel as if we know each other quite well.
But now you guys, like, it's one thing when you're national celebrities, but you captured the hearts of the world at the Winter Games. You guys are like international superstars now. How's
I don't
it
know
feel?
about that.
What are you talking? John Hamm! John Hamm knows who you are.
Yeah, well, I think we're more excited that Ilderton beat Hensel in the small town. You know?
Yeah, Scott comes
Eat
in
it,
here.
Hensel.
Scott came in here. He's very interested in the FM96 tournament of 64 small towns that we're doing at FM96.com.
Exeter should be ashamed of themselves.
Right? They didn't step up at all.
Wake up.
I know.
And Jim, Scott was kind of chirping you because Mitchell's not even in the tournament.
Oh,
Yeah, that's tough, eh?
they're just like, they're in the next level of small towns. They're like, you know how you guys were national heroes, now you're international? Mitchell's like an international small town.
Oh, yeah,
now.
okay. Yeah, that's too big. Yeah.
So let's talk about the Ellen Show. You're there, you're backstage. Like, was it surreal for you guys? Was that crazy to be there? I know you're used to being on television and being interviewed, but it's the Ellen Show.
Right. It was so exciting. There's a great energy in the studio. I mean, the audience is so engaged and there's dancing and it's fun and it's just pure entertainment. So it felt like there was a sense of levity and lightness, which was nice and fun for us just to be able to be in LA and, to be honest, to have a full day off in the sunshine was so lovely too. It was really a nice little reprieve.
Was it just a one-day thing? Were you guys in LA for a day and then you turned around and came back?
Yeah.
A couple days.
It's kind of crazy, eh?
Yeah, it was tight turnaround.
But it was, like Tessa said, it was maybe, for me, it was out of my comfort zone a little. Like, in America, you know, a lot of pressure. Like I said to Tessa, this feels like we're going to compete today. It was very similar when we woke up, you know. I had butterflies, and I was like, all I have to do is sit there and talk.
Is there just beautiful people everywhere? And you're like, what is going on here?
Kinda.
Yeah.
But no, not as beautiful as here. Honestly, that's what I kept thinking. Like, this is supposed to be the best. I don't know.
Well, you're lucky you had Tessa there because
I'm used to that. Maybe that's my standard.
I was saying this the other day, and people started chirping me saying I have a crush on you, Tessa. But I thought you handled yourself so well. I'm glad you came back because I feel like you, the way you handle yourself on television, you could make an easy transition to broadcasting someday. Is it something you've thought about?
That's so kind. Thank you. It's something we were able to sort of dive into a little bit when we took 2 years off after Sochi, and Scott and I did some broadcasting with CBC and TSN, and it was fun. You know, it was neat to be on the other side of things, and I think it gave me a different appreciation for all the many facets of production that go on behind the scenes. And we were sort of ignorant athletes for a long time in our selfish little bubble. And to step outside of that and realize there are so many people trying to help tell our story and that are invested in our careers. And that was really eye-opening.
Did you guys know that you were going to be playing the game on the Ellen Show? Like, when did she give you a heads up that you're going to play the definitely not dating game?
Well, we never knew. We didn't know it was going to be called that, but
they snuck one on us.
Right. Before we went on, we had a preview of the questions.
But that was actually one of the times that we didn't cheat on one of those games, right? Like, usually we're telling each other the answers behind the scene, but they kind of kept us in separate rooms and were very strict about it. So,
well, I want to let you guys know that Jim and I can relate. You know, when there's a natural chemistry between two people.
I've seen the way you guys look at each other.
Yeah. See these
They're always
vibes?
asking. They're always asking, is something more going on here?
Right.
And do you get sick of answering that question? You know, when you have a 20-year partnership that means so much more than dating. You get tired of answering that question.
We
I
think of it,
imagine you guys
Scott
feel the
Moir,
same
as
way.
a compliment. We're like, it's a compliment that people think that we get along so well, and obviously we do our job so well together.
do, yeah.
That
But-
people think there could be something else going on behind the scenes.
Does he wear boxers or briefs?
Yeah, good Ellen show.
You know what? Neither.
It's Friday.
I don't know if they're boxers or briefs, but I guarantee that they're tattered and probably should be thrown in the garbage.
Oh, you know me so well, Taz.
We've got Tessa Virtue and Scott Moir in the FM96 studios. Going to play this song for you guys, and then we want to talk, obviously, about the Winter Games. And, man, for everyone across this country, this was a real special moment when you guys skated to this song. It's the Tragically Hip. Long time running, FM96.
Mother tell you things.
Tragically Hip, FM96. It's Taz, Jim, Tessa Virtue, and Scott Moir here. You guys skated to that song on the Sunday that the Winter Games wrapped up, or was it the Saturday night? I guess it's tough for you guys to tell because you're on the other side of the world. But
somewhere in between. Eh?
yeah, it was somewhere in there. You guys skated to that song. And Scott, the Hip, very special band, obviously to all Canadians, you as well, right?
Oh, absolutely. And that's why we wanted to skate to the Hip at the games. That's why we came out in the fall, just after Gorda died. I was lucky enough to be in Ottawa at his second last show and to watch in Kingston. And, the whole country felt that. That's the soundtrack for when I was in high school. And then, people 10, 15, 20, 30 years older than us too. So
Yeah.
they reached a huge demographic, and, his fight and it was just so courageous and so Canadian. That was a moment. And that's when I kind of started to buy in a little bit to making people feel something, I thought to myself, if I can make even one person feel just like a tiny little iota of what, Gord made me feel.
Yeah.
And it inspired me, and then it's worth it. And I use that as an inspiration for a lot of our training and a lot of the harder days. And then kind of it made sense to circle back around and skate to long time running after 20 years with T. And
Well, you guys know you do make people feel like that. Tessa, you come home and you have that medal around your neck, the gold medals that you won in Pyeongchang, and the first thing you start doing is taking them to schools. You look at those kids. I know my son's going to be stopping by. My wife is mad about you two, and she wants to bring my son in this morning to get a picture with you. Boss Brad brought little Mia in. Like, you guys are idols to these young children, but also to their parents and the entire country. Like, you must feel that, right?
Well, we certainly feel the support, and it's truly heartwarming. We've gotten that, especially from our local communities, for the last 20 years. But returning home from Pyeongchang, it seemed to be on a bit of a different level, and we're so grateful for that. And it's a responsibility we don't take lightly. You mentioned being role models and having kids look up to us, and that's a role that we're honored to take on, and something that we were lucky to have mentors growing up and skaters to idolize, and we're very pleased and to sort of take that on as well.
It's almost too bad that you guys have to be over there competing and you can't be here watching everybody and feeling the excitement that you're creating at the same time. You know what I mean?
It's true. Well, thank goodness we weren't totally aware of that, though, while we were taking the ice. I mean, we felt the support, but we really needed to shut everything else out and just focus on each other and on our programs. But you're right. I wish that we could also have a sense of what it was like back here in Canada.
Yeah, you're role models. You can't do things like chug beers at hockey games and yell at refs.
That's out of the question.
What a bad
never.
example you'd be setting for children, Scott
exactly.
Moir.
I would never even think
What
about
a
that.
segue.
Just like when you thought Scott couldn't be more of a Canadian hero, he's on camera chugging a beer, yelling at a ref, and it somehow made you even more popular.
I know.
Isn't that crazy?
I just got lucky that those are the PG things I was yelling at. CBC happened to capture because there's a couple things that came out of my mouth I'm happy weren't on TV.
The thing is, though, Scott, I saw that, and I recognize that guy because I've seen him at London Knights games.
Yeah.
I've seen him at Barney's in the summertime, and everyone started freaking out. They're like, oh, the ice dance guy's drinking a beer. Holy jeez.
Imagine that, eh?
Something else really cool that happened. I know you guys helped our Kells make the announcement that they're doing the big rally in Hamilton, right? night. Then the band got the opportunity to come over and visit you. Let's talk about that coming up in a minute here. We'll play some Arkells and more with Tessa Virtue and Scott Moir on FM96.
Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Skylar.
I can't hear you.
Aye, aye, Skylar.
Cash Vault is coming in 15 minutes or less. FM96.
Yeah, just a heads up, we may be a couple minutes late for Cash Vault today, but there's a bunch of money in there that we could give you. We've got some special guests in the studio, Tessa Virtue and Scott Moir. They've got a lot of medals. They love the ice dancing. And they're happy to be home. You guys aren't home for that long, though, right?
No, we leave on Monday for Japan. We'll start our Stars on Ice tour there.
Holy cow. But you are coming back to London with Stars on Ice this May, right?
Yeah, which is kind of exciting. We hear that ticket sales, well, we've been
sold out, dude.
That. Yeah, that's what
That's
they say.
great. Well, we love skating at Bud Gardens, and it's always special to come back in, especially after an Olympic Games, to be here with our hometown crowd.
The only thing that does suck is we're going to be in Japan for the next couple of weeks, so we need the Knights to kind of take a toll and sound here, because we haven't made it to a Knights game yet.
I know. We're anxious to do that.
Yeah, we would love to get out there, but just the timing hasn't worked. We haven't been home. And
so are you guys going to be back from Japan for the Arkells rally show?
Well, we were just talking. Can we come home for one day to go to the rally show? But I'm not sure we'll be able to. But we're really
I think the
sad
boys
to
got her under control.
Yeah, it'll be a
us,
special
yeah.
one. We'll have to live vicariously through videos and.
Well, you helped them announce the rally. How did that come to be?
We did. They just reached out via Instagram, and we're big fans of theirs, so it was fun to put together that little video. And it was the week before we left for Pyeongchang, so it was a good distraction for us. And then how fortuitous that it all worked out, and they ended up there performing in Korea for all the Canadian athletes. It was so special.
Yeah, it must have been great.
Jeez.
I suggested, I was tweeting, we had Max on our show the day before Air Canada said we'll fly you over there. And then I tweeted him when he said he was going. I said, make sure you change the lyrics in Knocking at the Door to thirsty like Moir, like Moir, like Moir. He said it was a great idea. Did they do that
Great
during
idea.
I was... Ugh.
My memory's a little spotty.
No, man, that was... I can't even... There's not words for that. They came over, they probably had an hour and a half of sleep and put on a hell of a
It was
show.
amazing. And they even did a little Hall & Oates. And I don't think at that time they knew that I loved Hall & Oates, so that was a fun
Okay.
part.
Oh, there's a video of you dancing on
Yes, I
stage
was
to
so
it.
excited.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Courtney Cox on the Bruce Springsteen video. You kind of had that vibe going on.
Well, maybe I do have a crush on you, Tessa, because Hall & Oates are also my
Right?
favorite
Come on,
band.
this
There
is
is number
a rock.
one.
This is a rock.
My
show,
wife,
eh?
my wife
Can
and
you
I.
believe they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Tess and I go back and forth on this. all the time.
The best.
It's not rock.
I'm on
Give
your
me a
side,
break.
Scott.
My wife and I saw Hall & Oates on our honeymoon.
Oh my gosh,
Really?
where was that?
It was in
Now I feel like a jerk.
Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, at the
they
Hard
would
Rock
play
Cafe
Fort
there.
Lauderdale.
Now, I was about to play Arkells. Maybe I'll drop it and get some Hall & Oates on.
No, do the listeners a favor and throw that away.
Well, this was probably the soundtrack to your winter games, I'm assuming.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Knocking at the Door with Tessa Scott and the Taz Show on FM96. Taz Show, Taz and Jim hanging out with Tessa Virtue and Scott Moir. Of course, our ice dancing heroes. Most medaled ice dancers. Like, that must be crazy for you guys to even hear that.
It is strange.
Yeah. Well, we're lucky to have that team event, I guess, but we'll take it. We'll take the extra opportunities.
We were talking about how you guys are role models and an inspiration to young kids. Jim, your little niece wrote a letter to Scott and Tessa during the Winter Games, and you've got a copy of it here. Is it okay if Jim reads this to you guys?
I would
Yes.
love that.
Yeah, so this is from my niece, Ava. Dear Tessa and Scott, congratulations for winning the gold medal. You guys are amazing at skating. I have been watching you guys on TV a lot. My class has been playing Winter Olympic Games in our gym. From your number one fan, Ava Mahan, age 8. She drew a little a skate.
Look at that.
Say
Very
hi, Scott and
artistic.
Tessa.
Oh, hi, Ava.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's so sweet.
You guys must get letters like that from kids all the time, right?
That's the best, though.
Yeah.
And that's what we always say about people always ask us where our medals are. And it's pretty much the best thing about having a medal is seeing the look in kids' faces and
Taking
going
them
to
to
school.
schools.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, just
joked about
sharing that experience. And that's why we brought it home.
our nieces and nephews will have the best show and tell things for the next little while.
That's right.
At their schools.
Now, do the kids ever have questions about your routines? Like, hey, what was that thing you were doing when you had Tessa's on the front?
No, they do have funny. You got a
More
couple funny
about
questions, eh?
When I stand on his thighs, if how does that work without cutting him and things like that?
And they come up with the funniest
I know,
questions.
it's so sweet.
It's the best, though.
You guys did alter that one move, right? Because
we were trying
for
to
the team
make
event,
it,
but that was more just because we thought it was better suited to the music, and then it turns out we didn't actually get higher marks from the judges, so we went back for the individual competition. It was just really to maximize points.
Yeah, because in the end, we 1 point made a big difference, right? So we needed to make sure that we took advantage of it.
Well, it's now there's an online trend. People want you guys to remake Moulin Rouge. They want a full on
remake it,
like an on ice Moulin
Oh wow,
Rouge.
that would be fun.
It's not a bad idea.
That would be really fun.
Yeah, maybe get Cirque du Soleil involved somehow and
There we go.
go on the road. You
I
guys
like
want
this
to
pitch.
Are you producing? I like it.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely am getting a cut, obviously. Well, it's so awesome to have you guys home. I know you've got practice this morning. Some people may assume just because the Olympics are done, you guys get to take a break, but you're still at it because Stars on Ice is starting up. So you'll be skating today. Is it nice to be able to practice at home? Is it like a trip down memory lane?
A little bit.
Yeah, it's especially fun walking back into the Ilderton Arena where it all began, and it's hard not to reflect on the last 2 decades and how far we've come.
Yeah, I got back into play beer league hockey too the other day. So,
Nice.
Yeah, and looking up and seeing me figure skating and a little poster from 2009 it's good. The boys don't tease me about that at all.
Is this it? You guys gonna keep going? I know this is the other question that everyone keeps asking.
That's a good question, and I think for us, it might be time. We've had 3 great Olympic experiences, and we've had such amazing support from this community. It might be time to just cash in our chips and let somebody else go. But I think every single Olympics now, until about 2055, we'll be wishing that we're a part of. And it was a special run, but we have to evaluate that this summer, and I think there'll probably be an announcement coming soon. But we need time.
Don't you guys want to know what it feels like to win a bronze? Are you
we do
sick
need
of
to
all the gold and silver?
That was pretty much our goal of
Complete
this
the
games is
collection?
not to complete the collection. Just stay away from that color. And that's okay. We'll take the shinier ones.
Congratulations, guys. Like I say, if I wish you could be here while you guys are competing at an Olympics to feel the buzz that you create. Everyone was behind you, obviously, in London, in Ilderton, and right across the country. We're so proud of what you're able to accomplish, and we really appreciate your time here on the Taz Show.